Welcome to the dressing room. Cast of Dressing Room Diaries. This is your call to stage. You have 5 minutes. Dressing Room Diaries.
Hello and welcome to the Dressing Room Diaries, a podcast for the delusional, the dramatic, the depressed, the diarists, not diarrheists. Although, look, I am gluten intolerant and the anxiety belly before auditions is kind of real.
This is the type of oversharing that you signed up for.
We're actors, creatives, survivors of weekly breakdowns and very questionable self-tapes.
And we started this podcast to talk about what it's like growing up in the industry from inside the dressing room.
Thank you for joining us in our second episode. Come on, vocals. We're going to talk about where the art comes from and how we've learned to protect said art, period. Let's get into it.
Well, what have you ever done a panto depressed?
No, I have not.
I highly recommend it. And, you wake up with zero will to be. Brushing your teeth, having a shower is hard enough, but you do it. You get up, you get in the back of a cow, and you do two-step for hundreds of people. I mean, like, all jokes aside, it's so difficult. I think I experienced depression, anxiety, and major burnout in my career. And quite a few times, I booked a play that goes wrong, and that was my first ever long-term contract. I remember even going in feeling a little bit anxious about how long it is. It's just, I've never been great at committing to long duration of work. I mean, for our job anyway, it's like you get what you get, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 2 months, sometimes it's a day of filming, do you know what I mean? But a whole year, and it was actually like 14 months. I couldn't even imagine, I couldn't see the finishing line, and I was already feeling a little bit anxious about how long it's going to be. And the anxiety came from, won't I get tired? Won't I get bored? Going in, the team was amazing. Cast, creatives, incredible, super supportive, amazing people. And it was a comedy. So, of course, I was going to have a great time. You know what I mean? Just watching grown adults mess around, be children, clown around, and you just bond so quickly from that, and it was just a dream come true, right? But then I experienced major burnout, and there's so many reasons as to why one person feels burnout, but for me, I realized coming out of it where my art came from. I think that children, right, our inner child, we love play. When we were kids, we didn't care about what we looked like. We didn't have insecurities, right? We weren't afraid to be ugly or weren't afraid to be dark. I remember playing funerals, right? Yes. And having my mate be I'd be you're the dead body, I'm gonna be the funeral director, and that's your mummy crying in the corner, yeah? Should we, daily depart, it was fun, it was games, it was just play, right? And I think that connecting to that child is what the art comes from. And I think that, I came into that job, I was I'm doing a comedy, I'm going to be in the West End, it's going to be sick. You know what I mean? Everything was funny. Everything was fun, right? But then when I was experiencing this burnout, I found that, I was on autopilot a lot of the times. I was saying the lines that I've already known. Or, mind you, also, I was an understudy, so I had to cover three tracks, which was ideal for me because it meant that I couldn't get bored of what track I was doing. But all these tracks, autopilot, and sometimes I wasn't present, and sometimes I'm what, I'm not hearing any laughter, the audience must hate me. But it wasn't that, it was just that I was not connected anymore, and I wasn't finding it fun anymore. And I think that what I needed to do was protect myself, right? I needed to look after myself. And, as kids, we're allowed to cry. We're allowed to throw tantrums and we're allowed to laugh, and we can giggle from our guts. Do you know what I mean? And it's why is it now we're adults we learn to suppress that and find other ways of like, you know, of like expressing that. And I think that like we should just learn as a collective, as everyone, that we do actually need those times to is it expel? Is that the word? Expel those emotions, because it's healthy for us, right?
Yes.
And not only that, but we need to feed ourselves and we need to move ourselves. We need to rest. We need to like, you know, nap time, like literally quite, you know, we need all these things that a child needs, because without those things, burnout, it all happens. And I think that the moment when I started feeding myself properly and resting, my stage manager at the time, she's a wonderful, wonderful stage manager, 6 stage manager, she sat me down and she said, look, Dee, like I had an injury or I was tired, right? And she goes, respectfully, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but if you died today, the show will still go on. And that's peak to hear, right? It sounds morbid, but it's the truth. And, you know, it's like, you should just take care of yourself, because it's only you have to take care of, and no one else is going to do it for you. So I did take time out. I took maybe just a day or two, like that's not a lot, but like it did like a massive amount. I rested, I spent time with family, I spent time with friends. That gave me that fed me things. Do you know what I mean? I was able to giggle, I was able to eat, I was able to do all these things. That's another thing that they don't teach you, is that when you're cooking for your food, you have to cook at weird times, because you've got shows on in the evening and you don't cook at 5 p.m. like everyone else does, and that can mess up your scheduling, the way that you do it. And that's something I was finding really hard to adjust to, and hence why I was going through that. But like the moment when I sat myself down and actually took my time to self-care, self-soothe, feed, right, and to cater to that child, is when I came back and everything was funny again, and I could just play. And I've got this quote. One sec. It's a quote by Brennan Money. It says, "When our inner child is not nurtured and nourished, our minds gradually close to new ideas, unprofitable commitments, and the surprises of the spirit," right? And that's just like, that's it really. Like, cater to your little child, and then it's time to play again. And, you know, that's when my art comes from, is that child who is nourished, who is excited about things, who is curious, who, you know, has energy, and who is unapologetically funny, you know?
I completely agree. And I think as well, like, when we talk about drama school teaches you the discipline and how to sacrifice self for the art. Especially with the hours you're doing, you're working 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. every single day, which is not a true reflection of what the industry is like. Yes, of course, you've got your rehearsals, but once you leave that, the timing, like you say, what is it, the circadian rhythm, rhythm, completely exactly. And because you're sacrificing stuff, I don't think you get taught to nourish self and to look after your inner child and to guard your heart. You know, Proverbs 4 says, guard your heart, but everything you do flows from it. And it's especially true when it comes to art. And so I think in terms of, you know, learning that, okay, there is a great discipline that comes from learning to be on every day and to making sure that you have your lines learned and you'll be on stage at the certain time, you're there for warm up, whatever. But also it takes an incredible amount of learned discipline that comes from experiences like these and burnout. You have to learn the discipline of looking after self and loving yourself radically during these processes, because it takes a lot. You use a lot of energy and you sacrifice a lot of self working on these projects. So it's really important to take care of yourself. You know, if you're the type of person, you know, I'm not going to eat well in the week during the show. We, you know, Uber Eats veterans, we go like it's locked in. Like, so we know that, like, if we turn into Uber Eats fiends the minute we start a show, like, we know, okay, we need to be meal prepping. Yes. Or if we still want to Uber Eats because that's our passion, then we're going to be them finding like things that nourish us, you know, things that fill out certain things that we need in a day, a lot of fiber, protein, carbs, iron, magnesium, finding those kinds of things just so you can look after yourself in little ways, you know. And as you said, like, watching shows that are silly, that allow you to just escape from self. I know sometimes people judge, especially, you know, like people judge you talking about, oh, I'm watching Love Island.
I love it.
And also, not to be a nerd, but to be able to study human behavior is very fun.
The psychology is
exactly.
That is it.
So things like that, and then taking the time when you can, because it does get really hard when you're working on a show, because you're working such unsociable hours, to see family, to see friends, and it also not just being in the context of it being after the show, because I think that creates a weird relationship. And I think especially if you're not careful, and I think a lot of young actors fall into this trap as well. Everybody wants to buy you a drink. Everybody wants to buy you a drink after a show. So if you're not careful, you can end up drinking alcohol every single night throughout a show's run, because people want to, oh, let me buy you a beer, let me get you a glass of wine, girl.
Don't be ashamed, because it, you know,
which is
so quick and easy
exactly
to follow. It's
just being aware of falling into that routine.
When does this actually
feeling when it begins to take from you instead of it nourishing you? Yeah, you know, I think everything is fine in moderation, truly, and this isn't about judgment. It is truly like, it's just finding and that inner barometer of like, when is this tipping into taking from me as opposed to giving to me? So yeah. So those are today's stories. We're next going to go into some questions. So I've got some questions. Thank you for sending them all through.
Question.
So many questions. So I have kind of like honed in on questions I felt kind of connected to this week's episode. So they're all about, you know, finding the self in art and everything. So I'm excited to hear what you think.
Let's go.
Okay, so the first question is, I've just booked my first job on screen.
Congratulations!
But I'm so scared of having something that lasts forever when I don't like the way I look at the moment. It feels embarrassing and shallow to say to my friends and family, especially as an artist. As filming gets nearer, my dread grows.
I hear it. Yeah. Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh my gosh. Like, join the club. Like, I don't know one person who's really like 100% happy with showing their full selves in there. But like, I don't know, it's something we all, you know, someone will just be like, you're an actor now, so you have to get over it. And it's really difficult because, you know, though you like storytelling, and this is your first TV thing, so I'm guessing you've done a lot of theatre where you're just in the moment and you're on stage, people are viewing you, you're not seeing yourself, and you're just living and just experiencing it through that. But having to, I think, connect with what you're feeling like you are on stage, right? Where you're not aware of what you look like. And bring that to the studio or wherever you're filming. And think about the other stuff later, because I think thinking about yourself, what you're going to look like, will affect your performance. And yes, it will be permanent work, but like, be so confident in yourself that you know that like you are going to get better, right? It's like, I don't doubt you're going to be good, right? Because you booked the job. It's, you know what I mean? You were right for the part, right? So already trust yourself in that. Yeah. But like, do that experiencing thing that you like to do on stage, where you're just living through it. You are that character. And unfortunately, when you watch shows, you don't judge people's looks. You don't judge the way they are or speak or sound or all that kind of stuff. You're literally just watching a story unfold, that person being a vessel for that story, and you're connecting with them. That's what other people would do with you. They won't be looking at you and judging the way that you look. It's really difficult to try and let that go, I know. But try your best to remember that you are the vessel, and allow yourself to do the work that you love. And don't let your image take that away from you. Yeah, I completely agree. And like, kind of as you said, like, give yourself the same grace that you would give anybody that you saw on screen. And I think as well, like, as you said about like, it feels embarrassing and shallow to say, like, I think that's so interesting, because I think shame and like living like in fear of being truthful with friends and family about these kinds of things kind of locks you into
those like thought cycles. But as you're doing now, like sending this through to us, but also like, don't be afraid to say that to friends and family, you know, to people that you trust and that you think would understand where you're coming from. Because like, as you said, I think everybody, you know, we're souls experiencing a physical form. So of course, all of us are kind of gonna live at odds with ourselves in some way, because like we're like spirits. Like we're not. I don't think we're like made to exist solely in physical form. And that's also not what acting is about. It's about emotion. It's about story. It's about kind of like very ethereal, ghostly things in those ways that aren't very physical. And I think also part of it will probably be subconsciously, and I think for all artists, is this want and this desire to transform. It's I think like find a path to this energy that you have, to put that into a wanting to transform into the character. And you know, that will be mentally first, you know, like I want to transform into this character. I want to feel like when I'm on screen, on set, on stage, I am this person. That is the thing.
That just reminded me of Viola Davis' book. What was that called again? I think Finding Me. And there was a chapter in there when she's talking about like, you know, when she did the snotty crying in Fences, like that real blubbery, ugly, crying. We all ugly cry, right? You know yourself. You know when you feel the ugliest, right? And you don't want people to see that, but really and truly, like, you've chosen a path, which I know you probably have it's a reason why you love it, is so that the people that watch you feel less lonely. We are, like you were saying earlier, when we express, we're doing it for other people too, because when they watch that, they will realize that it's okay to feel that. They feel what you're feeling in that shot or whatever. And I think that if you allow yourself to fall or really, what's the right word, to like relax into knowing that you are just being in that moment, people will feel some type of connection, or what was that word you said, cathartic?
Like catharsis,
right, from your performance. That might take the pressure away from you. And also to try and rely on your scene partner. I think that if you rely on, don't focus on what you're doing, right? I don't know if this is was this correct?
It's come on,
and you focus on your scene partner, what they're doing, how they're behaving, where they put their tension, and how they make you feel. Maybe the focus on what you're looking like. You'll be able to release that.
And also like go on that journey of like self-love, and outside of the work. Don't have it be, because I think you can get stuck in a cycle as well of like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and do this and do this and this for the film or for like the TV show and blah, blah, blah. You can't live life like that. You're a whole human being. You're beautiful. You have so many life experiences. You're worth it. Like, focus on feeding yourself, and you will get to a point where you feel more comfortable being vulnerable, because you're, there's no way but to feel proud of the person that you are, so thank you for sending that through. That's really, really vulnerable. And I hope that gives some clarity.
The best time. I'm sure it will get better every time.
So the next question I've sent is actually a dilemma. That's exciting. So we did showcase months ago and have since completed our final year.
Congratulations.
I haven't had any agent interest. Everyone around me is getting offers. I love all these people. They're truly like family to me, but I can't help but feel jealous. What should I do? Yeah. This is a hard one, because it is such a universal drama school experience.
Yes. I wouldn't be worried.
Yeah, but don't be worried about it.
Of course, there's feelings of anxiety and worry and jealousy, so totally normal emotions to feel. Don't feel ashamed of them, because there's at some point it'll be someone else feeling that about you, but it will come. Like, I know you're probably doing the work in terms of like doing your invites, sending out like tapes, and not feeling that you're getting the traction, but it will come. Like, you're in the best spot to do it. There's no time pressure. I know, like, when everyone else is doing it too and signing, and it's a lot of noise, but remember, it is noise. It's their journey, and yours will come.
You're a completely different human being with a completely different path, and it may feel like confusing, frustrating, and you know, you might but you have to remember truly that you're your own person. This is your path, like, and the timing is your timing, and you wouldn't want to rush certain things. And I know that's easier said than done, and we say that now at this point of the industry, and I'm sure there'll be other times when we don't feel that way, but truly, like, your timing is your timing. You don't want something that is not right for you, or something that is right for you coming when you're not prepared.
Exactly.
That's the last thing you want. You want to be in a position where you feel like, actually, like, I'm in a good place with all my ducks are in a row, as it goes, and I'm ready to receive, you know, this. And but also, like, having said that, like, I don't mean to say come at it from a place of lack. You're not lacking anything. It is just a question of timing. You know, as you said, like, if you're doing the things that you're meant to be doing, you're doing your invites, you know, you're advocating for yourself, you're making sure that you're heard and seen in this industry, then great. If you're not doing that, then also great that it's time to get pragmatic. Get that Excel spreadsheet up. Get those casting directors' emails, those directors, those producers.
Watch what you like to watch. Look at the actors that you enjoy watching. Look into who they're represented by.
If you're watching a show and you see a sick monologue or duologue, put the time down in your notes app and then write it out and record it and send it to people. Like that, be pragmatic about things in that way. In terms of the jealousy, I think don't get stuck, as we spoke about earlier, in a cycle of shame. I think it's important to be honest with yourself,
and feel those emotions. They be coming.
And I think it's really easy to compare yourself to other people in this industry, often because we are, like, we think we're being compared, you know. It's not until you sit on a panel for other people like you've done, to audition people, and you've seen, or like when I was working for a theatre and I was having to watch self-tapes with people, and it's like, it's not a question of like, is this person better than the other person, blah blah blah. It's just, oh, this person is that character, great. Or this fits here in this person's
Well, they've done
book,
something
great.
slightly different that actually we never thought about and we like.
Exactly. So also, don't be afraid to be different. Like, this might be the time as well to, as you said, find out what you like, and to get closer to that version of artistically of yourself that you might have at drama school been afraid to explore or show.
In terms of like agents as well, why jealousy is an important thing to feel, but also to feel it, then put it away, is because like my experience was, you know, sending out lots of emails, connecting with lots of agents, and then finally doing some meetings. And I only felt that it was right to sign with my agent because we sat there for a full hour yapping about my vision of what I would like to do, his vision of what he'd like for me, what the vision is for that agency. So many questions you need to, you know, and it only felt right when I had an idea of who I wanted to before meeting him. It was big, shiny agent with incredible people on their books, right? But I also know that these type of agents also sometimes they do drop people after a while, and you can't, like, you know what I mean? So, and it's happened. It does happen, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It is literally just the type of industry we're in. Sometimes they do get rid of people in their books. So it's like, I remember feeling jealousy over people that had signed with maybe the original agents that I thought I wanted at the time. And now they found themselves with a different agent, hopefully the ones that are actually, you know, ones that really believe in them and like they work better with now. But you know, jealousy, it will be it's a fleeting emotion, and you know, you'll never know someone else's journey. And to just continue advocating for yourself and believing in yourself, and then go with the gut, go with the person that believes in you.
Also, don't allow jealousy to harden your heart. Like, I think it was really important what you said about, like, you do really love the people around you, and they are like family to you. I think things get tricky when you allow the jealousy or the envy to change the way that you move through the world. Like, if anything, like, if you're feeling that jealousy, and I don't mean this like in a way that you should be disingenuous, but push even harder, be even more excited for their wins, you know? And remember, I can't remember who said this. I wish I could remember, like, but it's definitely an old adage, but like, God is in the neighborhood.
Ooh.
If you see somebody like in your circle, like doing well, like, be excited. Be excited.
Because it's close.
You're close to it, like, you know. And I think it just like changes, you know, subtly changing those like kind of like perspectives, and like, even if you have to kind of like Pavlov's dog it, every time something good happens for somebody else, you celebrate, you know, a little bit, you know, because you're like, it's kind of happening to me, and it's happening to me too. And
I'm close by. Is it Denzel Washington? Ooh, that was like no.
I don't know. I do love that. Yeah, we love me some Denzel though. We love some Denzel Washington. But yeah, like I think really lean into celebrating for those around you, because, you know, like, we are all reflections of each other. And you know, I say it to you all the time. Like, I think we talk about it a lot. Like, we're always so happy for each other. Like, and any win you have, like, it's my win, like, and the excitement I have for you, like, is so unimaginable, like, imaginable. Like, whenever something great happens, like, period
on level. And that's when I believe the most, when that God is working in my life, because I'm watching it happen.
I'm watching miracles through my friends. And sometimes as well, it's hard to see the miracles in your own life, you know. There's these tube posters at the moment that everywhere is like, oh, like, look out for the miracles or something. And it's got like a dove over a rainbow. I've been seeing it around. And I think it's difficult when you're in your life and you're on the path to see the miracles around you. There are going to be things that you're experiencing that, as you said, other people are like kind of wanting, or and you're closing you put the blinders onto those things because you're so focused on comparing your wins to other people's. Stand in gratitude for what you have, and gratitude for what other people have. And I promise you, it will change. You know, it will come, and it will also change your perspective of the things that you're receiving. Period. So let's go on to the next question. So, I keep getting told not to act. What does everyone mean?
Not to act. Is that like a theatre? I thought like a TV and screen.
It's tricky because there's kind of like two different things, but then I guess it's also kind of similar. I've heard that phrase many a time. I've heard it more in theatre. Definitely when I was learning, like, from my old theatre teacher. And for a long time, it really did stump me. Everyone would say,
because what do you mean? We're paying $9,000 a term. Is it a term? To be here to act. So what do you mean?
What do you mean? I want to act. That's what I want to do. I want to act like more than anything in the world. But I think it's about acting. It is about feeling rather than showing.
Say that again.
Oh, did I just play Doh up with you?
Did you preach? What chapter was that?
But it's about reload. I think it's about feeling. It's not about showing. And I think I definitely heard that a lot when I was like, don't stop acting. So I'm like, what do you mean? But truly, like, if you are like almost like a panther in the tall grass, like you are watching, you're scoping out the scenery, and you're looking at the scene around you, looking at the world around you, you're looking at your scene partner. If they even raise an eyebrow a little bit during the scene, you need to be ready to feel that. Allow that to change you, instead of showing, I'm angry in this scene, or I'm trying to win this scene, blah blah blah. it's about this person is feeling something
and it's making
me feel something. And allowing that to happen so often as an exercise that it begins to become subconscious, almost in a Meisner way.
Yeah.
That like subconsciously you're just in this flow state connected with this other person that, you know, the line might sound completely different to the way that it did in rehearsals or the way that you envisioned it to, because this other person is feeling something that you, and you're like, where does it come from? You know, so in that way, do not act. Because also, if you plan, and you pre-plan what you're going to do beat to beat to beat, you don't allow for those like actual human emotional experiences to surprise you. So I think that's it. It's about
beautiful,
surprising yourself, allowing yourself to be surprised.
I mean, have you ever had like a conversation with a friend or a partner and they don't look at you, or they say something slightly different, or you know when that text, we need to talk. You don't know what you're feeling in that moment, but all of a sudden it's like a massive beat, a beat in your stomach, like it's like something has dropped, and you don't know. You're just it's just all about like feeling, and it's like allowing, what you were saying, the other person to sort of carry that and just to feel a change of air, change of or a facial expression that's just made you feel slightly uncomfortable, or why isn't that person looking at me anymore? Like what? I think also like stream of thoughts can help you with that as well, and just continue like talking to yourself as you're like listening to this person and go, why did they raise that eyebrow at me? Like, what are they hiding? I was like why aren't they looking at me? And you know, these little things and that might free you up. So you're no longer like acting. And it's literally just about feeling.
And I think with screen, I think is a similar thing too. I think a lot of times people are just like, be smaller, and it's kind of like
that might not be as helpful.
That might not. I don't think it's kind of
it can be.
It can be like on a like a technical sense sometimes, but I think it doesn't get to the root of the thing of why you're doing it. And like, just because something's small doesn't mean that it's believable, or doesn't mean that it's like, you know, doesn't mean that it's truthful. And also there are big characters in the world. I think we're probably quite big characters. I think we get told a lot that we're quite animated. So and there's truth, and that's truthful. You know, there's truth in that. So and I would hate if there was a biopic about my life.
Who would play it?
Valeriia.
I think I'd like Kiki Palmer to play me. I think she'd do me down.
Okay, now I have to think about it for real. At what stage? Like,
like anywhere. There could be one actor, but when they were younger, or now, or you older, anything.
I think maybe Kerry Washington.
Love her.
Yeah. He is like, she gets in it. She gets in there. I love it. She's not afraid. So yeah. Oh yes. Oh, I love it. But yeah, I would hate for whoever's being told, like whoever is playing me, to be like, oh, it has to be really small, because that means it's truthful, you know, because, you know, I don't think I'm small.
Period.
Well, to Daniel Kaluuya, we're major. We're major.
Yeah.
But yes, those are all the questions that we're going to answer today. But thank you so much for sending those through. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And thank you so much for sending in your questions and dilemmas. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. And if you have any more questions or dilemmas, be sure to send them to us in our email, which will be down below.
But before we go on stage, I've got notes for you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I want you to remember, you don't need to earn your worth before you create. You brought it with you.
Oh, that's lovely, girl. Okay, and my note for you: art isn't a mask; it's a mirror. Your voice is the point. Good.
Bye, guys.
Dressing room diary.